Morning, my dear legendary students. Hi, hello, welcome back to online classes, online webinar classes. A warm welcome, pleasant morning. Hi, hello, everyone. So, this is Krishna, HOD of Geology, Sri Vasavi Degree College. So, come on, tell me, when did you stop yesterday? So, come on, tell me, when did you stop yesterday?
Sir, yesterday para para gland complete చేశారు sir.
Okay. So, Ankita, you must be mute. Today, we are going to discuss about uh, that is adrenal gland. What ma? Adrenal gland. Adrenal gland. Okay. Today, we are going to discussing about adrenal gland. So, adrenal gland, very important thing. So, where it is the exact location? Location, this gland, it is located so the adrenal gland located at the top of the kidney. It is located at where ma? It is located at the top of the kidney. Top of the kidney look like a cap-like structure. Look like a cap-like structure. Cap-like structure. Okay. So which is located on the very well. Okay, on the kidney. Located at the top of the kidney, especially for so on kidney. That's why it's called adrenal gland. Adrenal gland. So these adrenal glands do very important thing. So what ma? These adrenal gland mainly we should go to dissect with this adrenal gland with the longitudinal section. What ma? Longitudinal section, LS of adrenal gland. So this adrenal gland which is having how many parts ma? Two parts are there. What part ma? Two parts are there. So what are those? One is cortex. Second one is medulla. Okay, one is cortex, second one is medulla, right? So very important thing. So whether the adrenal gland which is to dissect with the longitudinal section, so totally two parts will occur. One is cortex, second one is medulla. In cortex, mainly, so three zones are there. How many zones ma? Three zones are there. Guard zones, okay. In cortex region, mainly three zones are there. What are the zones? You know very well. The zones are called zona of glomerulosa. Okay, will explain here. Okay, totally. See, this is okay. This is a mainly adrenal gland, cap-like structure which is located on the kidney top. So this adrenal gland which contains, whether we go to LS, how many parts are there ma? Two parts are there. How many parts? Two parts are there. One is very important thing. So one is cortex. Second one is medulla. Right? Very important. Now, these cortex, in the cortex region, okay, so may audible, visible? Because, Radhika.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Only one person, right? So cortex region, remembering one thing, in this cortex region, mainly three zones are there. How many zones, ma? 3 zones are there. 3 zones are there. One is, okay, 3 zones are there. One is zona of glomerulosa. Zona of glomerulosa. So number 1 is zona glomerulosa. Okay. Number 2 is zona fasciculata. Fasciculata. Zona of fasciculata. Zona of fasciculata. Next, number 3 is zona of reticularis. Zona of reticularis. Reticularis. Okay, this is the zones are. Okay, right? Once and repeat. Adrenal gland. Okay, so whether we are going to dissect longitudinal section. Okay, so one is 2 parts are occurred. One is cortex, second one is medulla. One is cortex, second one is medulla, right? So in this cortex region, how many zones are there, ma? Come on, tell me. So come on, tell me, anyone, how many zones?
3 zones, sir.
Tell me, what are those? Killa.
First one is zone of glomerulosa. Second one is zone of fasciculata.
Okay,
Third one is zone of reticularis.
very good, fantastic response by Akila. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for your response. Zona of glomerulosa, zona of fasciculata, zona of reticularis. Right? So that is important about this cortex region. Right? Now, so one by one discussing. Okay. Now, let us, this is a flow chart is completed. Right? So, very important thing, so in medulla region, remember we'll explain medulla later. We'll explain, see, cortex region. Title cortex. Okay, cortex of adrenal gland. So this cortex region already told. The cortex region stimulated and activated by pituitary gland hormone, that is ACTH. That is ACTH, right? First point, cortex region should be stimulated and activated by the hormone, pituitary gland hormone, pituitary gland anterior lobe of pituitary gland hormone, that is called ACTH. A means adeno, C means cortex, T means tropic hormone. So these ACTH hormone which is functioning on cortex region of the adrenal gland. So these adrenal gland, growth and development takes place, and what happened, and growth and development and secretion of the cortex hormones by the influence of ACTH. That is clear. Once I repeat, this cortex region should be stimulated and activated by the influence of ACTH of pituitary gland hormone. Then the cortex region, growth and development takes place. From the cortex region, from the zones, the hormones are secreted by the influence of ACTH. Right? Now, coming to the point. So this cortex region already told you. What now? In this cortex region, number 1. Okay. Number 1 hormone. Okay. Number 2 zone. Number 3 zone. 3 zones are there, na? So first zone is called zona of glomerulosa. Second zone is called zona of fasciculata. Already told you, na? So third zone is called zona of reticularis. Zona of reticularis. Okay, right. One, I would like to take one screenshot for attendance purpose. Thank you. What is zone of glomerulosa? So right, zone of glomerulosa is the first zone of cortex region of adrenal gland, first zone of cortex region of the adrenal gland. Right, the zone of glomerulosa, okay, to secretes, okay, what hormone? So the zona of glomerulosa to secrete the hormone is called aldosterone. Padma? Aldosterone. Okay. So what are mama? The zone of glomerulosa to secretes more amount of the aldosterone. More amount of the aldosterone. That is very important. Okay. So that is very important. That is called aldosterone. Less amount of the. So that is called. It is also called. Okay, so you know very well. So from the zona of glomerulosa, okay, so this aldosterone is secreted. But aldosterone is belongs to which one? Actually, from the zona glomerulosa, okay, more amount of the mineralocorticoid should be secreted. What ma? Mineralocorticoid. What ma? More amount of the mineralocorticoid secreted. Okay, this is a more amount, and less amount of the glucocorticoid. Glucocorticoid, glucocorticoid secreted, and less amount of the sexocorticoid should be secreted. This is a very important. Okay, once I repeat, from the zone of glomerulosa, zone is called mineralocorticoid region. What ma? Which region? Mineralocorticoid region. So why? Because it secretes more amount of the mineralocorticoids and secretes less amount of the glucocorticoid. For example, so we'll explain 100% of that means 99% mineralocorticoid and remaining 1% sex corticoid and glucocorticoid secreted. So that's why the zone of glomerulosa zone secretes which are mineralocorticoid hormone. The mineralocorticoid hormone example. What ma? Aldosterone. What ma? Aldosterone. Come on, tell me. So, what is zone of glomerulosa? What type of hormones are secreted? Come on, tell me. Anyone? Bushra, tell me.
Sir, voice struck అవుతుంది sir.
Voice struck అవుతుందా?
Yes, sir. In the middle, your voice was totally great.
Totally?
In the middle, two sentence. The main sentence was clear.
1 minute.
Zone of glomerulosa is the first zone of the cortex. It secretes the aldosterone hormone,
Okay.
and more amount of mineralocorticoid hormone is released. The example of mineralocorticoid hormone is aldosterone, and less amount of glucocorticoid and less amount of sex corticoid hormones is releases.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Bushra. Once again I repeat. So now voice is clear. Adhika, ఎవరన్నా
Yes, sir. Now, yes, sir.
thank you, thank you. So, once and I repeat, the cortex region will have three zones. Zone of glomerulosa, second one zona fasciculata, third one zona of reticularis. The zona of glomerulosa, okay, which is the zona glomerulosa more with to secretes more amount of the mineralocorticoid, a less amount of the gluco and sex corticoids. So the mineralocorticoid example aldosterone, aldosterone. Now, so very important thing. This aldosterone point secretion. The aldosterone secretion from where? Aldosterone secretion from, okay, zona of glomerulosa of cortex region of the adrenal gland. Once I repeat, aldosterone secretion. Aldosterone secreted from zona of glomerulosa of cortex region of the adrenal gland. Clear? Now, aldosterone target organ. Aldosterone target organ. This aldosterone, which is functioning on mainly kidney, especially for nephron. This aldosterone, target organ on nephron. On nephron, very very important. So the target organ of adrenal aldosterone, that is target organ that is on nephron, the kidney, right? Next. So what is the function of this aldosterone? Mainly, so very very important. So this aldosterone, which is responsible for the so formation of the urine by the what happened absorption of the water and especially for sodium and chlorates, okay, which is responsible for the formation of the what happened minerals. That means formation of the urine by the absorption of the sodium and chloride, right? So and which is responsible for the simply formation of the urine. That means absorption of the water and the sodium and the chloride, so which is responsible by the aldosterone. That's why this aldosterone to control the salts, to control the salts, that is called what so to maintain the balancing of the minerals. These aldosterone to balancing of the minerals in the blood, whereas in the formation of the urine. That is very very important. That is by aldosterone. Once I repeat, aldosterone secretion, it is secreted from zona of glomerulosa of cortex of adrenal gland. Right. So this it is a aldosterone is a mineralocorticoid. Aldosterone is a mineralocorticoid. So these aldosterone target organ, it is functioning nephron of the kidney and function which is responsible for the to maintain the salts, balancing of the salts, right? That means it is responsible for the formation of the urine by absorption of the sodium, chloride and water. That's why this aldosterone is called to maintain to balancing of the salts in the body. That should be aldosterone. Clear? Understood? I think may God all of you to understood these points. Okay, na? Anyone can respond. Ma? Nobody is not there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, anyone can respond. Quick, ma, please. Okay, next. This is completed. Right. Now let us come into the point. Zona of fasciculata. What beta? Zona of fasciculata. The zona of fasciculata, second zone of the cortex region. Second zone of the cortex region, right? Very important thing. And remembering one thing. So the zona of fasciculata, okay. So which is to secretes more amount of the glucocorticoids. It secretes what ma? More amount of the glucocorticoids. More amount of the glucocorticoids and less amount of the secretes less amount of the sex and mineral. Okay, sex what ma? So less amount of the sex and mineralocorticoids. That is mainly zone of vesiculata. That's why the zone of vesiculata zone is called to secretes which zone? That is called glucocorticoids. Glucocorticoid, right? Once I repeat, zone of vesiculata to secretes more amount of the glucocorticoid, less amount of the sex corticoids and mineralocorticoids, right? That's why, so very important thing. So the zone is called a glucocorticoid zone. The zone is called a glucocorticoid zone. Right. So glucocorticoid zone. This glucocorticoid zone, corticoid. Example. What are the examples of them? What are the examples? Right. What are the examples now from zone of vesiculata glucocorticoids? GC means glucocorticoids. What are the examples? Mainly cortisol and cortisone. Okay, cortisol and cortisone. Cortisol and cortisone. CORTISOL cortisol. CORTISOL cortisone. So these hormones are called glucocorticoids. Right. So these cortisol, example, you must write one example. These cortisol and cortisone, which is responsible for which is responsible for the what happened, ma? Very important, which is responsible for the carbohydrate metabolism. What beta? Carbohydrates metabolism. Very important. The cortisol or cortisone, especially for cortisol, which is responsible for what, ma? Cortisol, which is responsible for. So what happened, Sangeeta? Okay. So this cortisol, which is responsible for what, ma? Which is responsible for the carbohydrate metabolism. Especially very important. That's why this cortisol, which is to maintain the sugar level. What, ma? To maintain the sugar level. Okay, so that's why the zone of vesiculata, which is to secrete the glucocorticoids more, less sex and mineral. So that's why the zone of vesiculata zone of glucocorticoid, that is cortisol, to maintain the so sugar level, optimum sugar level in the body. That should be done by the cortisol, right? So that's why it's called sugar maintain zone, sugar balancing zone. Right. Next what, ma? Third zone is called zona of reticularis. What, ma? Zona of reticular, third zone. The zona of reticular is the third zone of cortex of adrenal gland. Zona of reticular, third zone of cortex adrenal gland. Right. So zona of reticularis, first point is completed. So the zona of reticularis, it is to secrete more amount of the sex. It is to secrete what, ma? More amount of the sex. SC means what? SC means what, ma? Sex corticoids. SC means sex corticoids. That's why it is the sex corticoids. Very important thing. So right, and less amount of the gluco and mineral. Less amount of the GC and MC. GC and MC means what? What is GC? What is MC? What is GC? What is MC? No.
Gluco Glucocorticoid and mineralocorticoid.
Fantastic answer. Fantastic answer. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So these six corticoids, right? Now, so that's why zone of reticular zone is called sex corticoid zone. Zone of reticular zone is called what ma? Sex corticoid zone. Right. Very important thing. Okay. So this reticularis, these sex corticoids, the sex corticoids example, sex corticoid, here I would like to write sex corticoid, hormones. What are the hormones? Number one, what happened ma? Testosterone. What mean? Testosterone. So this is visible ma?
Yes, sir. కొంచెం కొంచెం కనిపిస్తుంది సార్.
కొంచెం కనిపిస్తుందా? Okay. Right. I would like to write here. Third zone. Here visible. Ma. One is testosterone. Second one is estrogen. Next one, progesterone. Okay, what ma? Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, right? So zone of reticularis, so which is to secretes more amount of the sex corticoids, less amount of the glucose mineralocorticoids. So that's why zone of reticular zone is called a sex corticoid zone. The sex corticoid zones sex corticoids examples: testosterone hormone, estrogen, and progesterone to be secreted. That is the example of sex corticoids, right? That's why this reticular zone is called a sex control zone. What happened, ma? Sex hormone secretion zone. Okay, 3 years completed. One is zone of glomerulosa, that is salt, and zone of vesiculator, that is sugar. Okay, zone of reticularis, that is sex. One more S cells are there. So for example, what happened ma? If it is aldosterone is not maintain the stress also. What happened ma? Aldosterone to maintain the stress also. For example, I would like to give. So what happened? If continuously we should be storage of urine in the urinary bladder continuously 5-6 hours continuously. You are sitting in the classroom on the bench continuously. You are sitting in the continuously 6 hours to 8 hours class, unable to take any break. Okay, so unable to take any refreshment, right? So that's why in the urinary bladder, so huge amount of the nearly 400 ml of urine should be formed. Okay, Radhika, I will explain second zone again. No problem. So right, okay, now clear ma. So what happened? I would like to explain later. So this zone, this urinary bladder to fill the 400 to 500 ml of urine. So continuous in that condition again, adrenally, that means aldosterone should be secreted. These aldosterone, what happened ma? To raises the heartbeat. What happened ma? BP also. For example, if that person, that continuously sitting person is going to bathroom, you should stop that person. What happened ma? Immediate immediate that person going to shut up, stop it, nonsense, best fellow. So like that type of activity will giving to reflect. Why? Because in the urinary bladder, huge amount of the what means ma? Urine is there, and aldosterone to be giving. Heartbeat rate rises and BP rises. That's why we are giving emotional, right? So that's why to these aldosterone to maintain the stress, to control the stress also, That's why these adrenal gland cortex region hormone is called. adrenal gland cortex region hormone is called 4S. What ma? 4S. So what is 4S? One is, remembering one thing, one is first one what ma? First one salt, second one is stress, third one is sugar, okay, fourth one is sex. Fourth one is sex, right? So this is a important. Clear? Understood? That's why cortex region hormone is called what ma? To maintain the salt, stress, sugar, and sex also. That's why this cortex region hormone is called 4S hormone. 4S hormone. Okay. So I would like to quickly the second. First one, zone of glomerulosa. It is a first zone of cortex region of adrenal gland. The zone of glomerulosa to secrete more amount of the corticoid and less amount of the glucocorticoid, less amount of the serotonin. And zone of glomerulosa is called mineralocorticoid zone. So mineralocorticoid example aldosterone. These aldosterone to maintain the balancing the salts, sodium, chloride, and water. Absorption of these one and formation of urine. It is responsible. And to control the stress also. To control the salt and stress also by the aldosterone. Right. Next, zona of fasciculata. Zona of fasciculata, second zone of cortex region of adrenal gland. Right. So this is to secrete more amount of the glucocorticoid, less amount of the sex and mineralocorticoids. Less amount of the sex and mineralocorticoids. Right. Next, so this more amount of the glucocorticoid, that's why it is called, this zone is called glucocorticoid zone. This zone is called what ma? Glucocorticoid zone. So glucocorticoid example, cortisol and cortisol. Cortisol and cortisol. Cortisol and cortisol which is responsible for what ma? Which is responsible for carbohydrate metabolism. Carbohydrate metabolism. That's why to maintain the sugar level in the body, to maintain the sugar level also, to control the sugar also in the body, that should be done by the glucocorticoid. Next, zone of reticularis. This third zone of cortex and of adrenal gland. The zone of reticularis, which is to secrete more amount of the sex, less amount of the gluco and the mineral. So that's why it's called sex-corticoid zone. The sex-corticoid zone, testosterone, estrogen and progesterone. Testosterone, estrogen and progesterone. This testosterone which is responsible for the in male secondary sexual characters and to development of the reproductive system. Okay, and estrogen also which is responsible for the which is responsible for the to maintain the especially for what ma? So these estrogen to maintain the menstrual cycle, to develop the secondary sexual characters in female, to develop the secondary sexual characters in of course reproductive system of the male and maintain the menstrual cycle and progesterone also. We'll explain this is important about the cortex region of thyroid gland, right? So and the fantastic abnormalities are there. What are the abnormalities of adrenal gland? So these are the hormones are there. We'll explain one by one what are the abnormalities, what are the abnormalities of thyroid gland, and before the abnormalities, medulla also there. The medullary hormone that is called very well adrenaline and noradrenaline is there. What is the function of adrenaline? What is the function of noradrenaline? Tomorrow we will discussing. So today the session is completed. Today the session is completed. How much attendance is there today? Thank you. 15 members are there. So today the session is completed. Thank you very much. This is Krishna, HOD of Zoology, Sri Vasavi signing out.
Thank you, sir.